Today we're trying out the upcoming firmware of the NUX Mg-30. Many of you beautiful ladies may know I'm a big fan of modeling units, and especially the NUX Mg-30 caught my attention, at least in the budget price range, because it sounds phenomenal for the price it is offered, currently around maybe 220 euro or some shit. And I made a couple of videos about that unit. Please check out my attempts to replicate some tones like the Black Album by Metallica, or also the Bullet for My Valentine. But one thing which people are claiming, or which people wanted to have with new firmware updates, it's maybe a model of the PV6505. And also there were some models in this unit like the Soldano which seemed to have some clipping issues when you raise the gain. So yeah, I got in contact with NUX, and they're currently reworking these amps. And recently I got a beta firmware where they are checking out, where they are improving the 6505 model and also the Soldano model, also a couple of other things. And I was really impressed by this improvement. I got another better firmware in the past, which was also a little bit of an improvement, but now I have to say this PV is really convincing. So let me open the editor for you. So where do we have it? It's here. And as you can see, as always, I am creating my patch with an own Hammer IR, which I'm always using. And I'm using this version, the 3.22, which is not available still. And yeah, this is my lead tone. Of course, it has lots of effects, so let me turn off the widening effect and also the delay. So yeah, this is the rhythm tone. And to me there's two things. One thing which is really nice is that now it sounds like the PV. It has all the characteristics which I know from the original one. I own the original amp. It's overpronounced upper mid-range, which you can get where, especially if you crank the treble a little bit. I personally don't do that with this amp because it has too much of these frequencies. It has also these nice mids, which I usually don't use that much, but yeah, with that setting it seems to fit somehow. And also it has tons of gain, and if you crank it, you maybe come close to this Bullet for My Valentine tone, which I tried to replicate with another amp model in another video because I couldn't get it with the PV. Now I would use the PV. And you have this oversaturated tone. I have to admit, or as you can see here, I'm using a boost pedal. So if I disable it, you have this huge low end, which, well, the original amp has this huge low end, but here it's also somehow starting to clip in the lows. So especially if you raise the gain, you can hear this clipping again, or still. And there's something which the real amp doesn't have. So I think they have to rework that a little bit more. But if you don't go over 5 with this gain, at least with this guitar, and if you use the boost pedal, which maybe many people do with the PV, we have this oversaturated 6505 tone. Which sounds a lot like the original in my opinion. By the way, I'm using my, what is it, Harley Benton Fusion 3 guitar with Roswell pickups. Yeah, got a lot of them. Please check out my videos about these guitars. I love them. Let me check my hair. Okay, yeah, but what I also did is I cranked the treble, the presets here. If you reduce it, it might be better for live usage. But well, you get this definition, of course, if you crank the presets a little bit, especially for recording. It's nice. So I personally don't need that much gain, but if you want to sound like Bullet for My Valentine on the Poison album, I recommend this setting here. But yeah. So let's check out how it sounds with the Tube Screamer, because this is maybe something which many people like, the combination Tube Screamer and the 6505. Might be a little bit too much, so let's reduce the gain here. As you can see here, I don't use that much gain. So yeah, let me save this because the sounds also kick ass. I'm gonna save it. And let's compare it. And maybe we can compare it to my favorite tone, which I got before, which was maybe this. As you can see here, I'm using the Marshall DSL, but also I'm using an EQ, where I'm taking out a lot of the mids. But with the 6505, I don't use an additional EQ. As you can see here, it's currently turned off. So that is also something which is really nice. You don't need an EQ. At least I don't need the additional EQ. You have only one here. So you can use it for other purposes. For example, maybe boosting your amp or some shit. As you can see here, I'm also using a low and a high cut. If I disable this, might be better for recording, because then you can reduce it afterwards if it doesn't fit in the mix. Yeah. So I think this amp model, sound-wise, it's really yeah, convincing. Only with the gain knob. I think maybe they could yeah, stop with the 5 setting, at least in my opinion. Or why don't make the 5 louder? These go to 11. No. How was this joke? Anyway. And of course I wish all these Marshall amps here would go to 11. But anyway. There's also another model which I was not happy with, which was the Soldano. And also they reworked it here. So this amp model has lots of bass. And you can see also I'm using no additional EQ here, but I cranked the treble and presence a little bit. What you can also do is you can reduce the bias a little bit if you would like to get a more scoop tone. Because usually if you crank the bias, then you get a more focused tone. But let me go back to this. So also turn off these things. Sounds a little bit dark. But of course I could use another IR. Or the additional EQ here. So but the problem with the flubbiness here is gone. So in the past I couldn't get a decent tight high gain tone. Also here you can recognize the characteristics of the real amp, in my opinion. And yeah, you get this nice creamy lead tone, which many people like, maybe about the Soldanos. And yeah, if it doesn't have enough high end for you, use the additional EQ, of course. So yeah, I think they made a big improvement with this Soldano and also the 6505. And maybe they're using different modeling algorithms. I don't know. Yeah, but now these amps seem to work, which was not the case in the past, at least for me. And yeah, together with the other ones, which were already fine, like the VH4, the Recto, and of course the Marshall amps. Yeah, you have basically everything you need, at least in my opinion. Another new amp they added is the Fender Princeton. And yeah, I'm using here this vibrato. I'm not an expert of these kind of amps, but it sounds also fine to me. And yeah, I'm really curious how the final official firmware will sound. But I think, yeah, with the 6505 and the Soldano, it's already at least sound-wise there where it should be. So yeah, I hope this makes you curious too. And please check out when the new firmware will come out. And maybe I will make another video and then compare the final result with this beta firmware. So subscribe to my channel. Hope to see you soon. Goodbye.